Cardinals accused Lonborg of throwing especially at Brock. He'd gotten 4 hits in the first game, and in the third game, Boston accused Briles of hitting Yastrzemski. He did hit him. There's nothing you can do about it. Whether or not he intended to hit him, I don't know. The fact that he hit him below the belt just makes me believe that it's possibly a warning that if our players are thrown at, your players will be thrown at.
Sandy, I'm sure that nobody throws at players to hurt them. But then it is a fact that Tony Conigliaro is not here with the Red Sox, which would make Boston much more dangerous because he was beamed and is out for the rest of the season. So it's dangerous.
That's true, Jim. I think throwing at hitters, while it has its effectiveness as a pitcher, I think it's a very dangerous thing. I know a couple of years ago, I got mad and wanted to knock a player down. I didn't intend to hit him, but I did. In fact, it was Lou Brock of the Cardinals. And I think Lou missed a month or 5 weeks, and he's an important man in the Cardinal lineup, and I felt that I'd sort of deprived him of making his living. I didn't think it was fair. I wanted to knock him down, I'll admit to that, but I didn't want to hit him. So I think it has its place, but it's dangerous.
Well, let's see what happens today, and we'll discuss yesterday's game and today's game in a moment as we'll return with more World Series report right after this message. You're a soothsayer, you're a baseball player, ex-baseball player, but you have been right. You have said the speed of Brock, the power and hitting of Yastrzemski are the keys to both ball clubs. That proved it again yesterday.
Well, Lou Brock, he tripled in the first inning, and the speed got him to third, but I think most players would have gotten a triple out of that. But almost every time he gets on, it seems like it's inevitable that Brock is going to score. He bunted for a base hit. He makes a perfect bunt if he gets it by the pitcher. It's awfully difficult for the pitcher to beat him to first base. Once the pitcher breaks for the ball, now he has to try and get to first to beat Brock there, and he just can't do it. It's almost impossible with his speed. And he gets on, and now he worries you. He absolutely terrorizes you into mistakes. If you don't make a mistake, he'll steal bases. There's not much you can do about it. He steals on the pitcher. Yesterday, he got a throwing error out of the pitcher, out of Stang. Stang threw it away. He went to third. He scored on a base hit. There's nothing you can do to stop him, or it seems that way anyway, once he's on.
Now, you said you hit Brock one time and knocked him out of action. Has Brock ever really worried you, Sandy Koufax, into making an error like that?
Very definitely. I think that's why I got mad. He does it to everybody. I didn't have a particularly good move, and Lou Brock drove me crazy. Maury Wills did it to a lot of other people. I was fortunate I played with Maury for a long time. I'd hate to have had Lou Brock and a Maury Wills to pitch against.
Now, Boston, of course, won the second game with the hitting of Yastrzemski, and Carl did not hit yesterday.
No, that's right, especially the fact that Dalton Jones went 3 for 4 and got on base 3 times, hitting in front of Carl. Now, Carl came up 3 times, as I say, with a man on, and had a chance to drive in the big runs. The first time that Jones got on, Carl hit into a double play. After that, he hit a couple of ground balls, which, got Briles out of innings. And Briles, being an extra relief pitcher, pitched very well with men on all day. In fact, almost every inning, he had the leadoff hitter or the second hitter in the inning on base. And Yastrzemski is such a key man in that Boston lineup that if he doesn't get on base, they are in a little bit of trouble. Boston's won 1 and lost 2. In the first game that Boston lost, Yastrzemski didn't get any hits. He got shut out. In the second game that they won, he went 3 for 4. Yesterday, he got shut out again, and they'll get beat again. So it looks like if he doesn't hit, they're not going to win ball games.
Sandy, what were they throwing Yastrzemski?
Well, I think they pitched him a little bit differently here than they did in Fenway Park. In Fenway, it looked like they tried to keep the ball inside on him and try and not let him go the other way to left field. Well, at least Gibson can do that. Gibson has a better fastball than Briles. Briles yesterday, a sinker ball pitcher, looked to me like he threw the fastball low outside most of the day to Yastrzemski.
And, of course, Bob Gibson's coming up today. We'll discuss today's fourth game in just a moment after this word on World Series report. Sandy, the facts are that the Cardinals lead 2-1. They're playing at home, and Bob Gibson, who's a marvelous pitcher, is pitching again today. But what do you think about today's game?
Well, Jim, I feel this way. Yesterday, Orlando Cepeda, who's had, funny enough, for a good hitter, he's had his troubles in World Series and in All-Star games also, which I guess happens. Maybe the good hitters press a little bit. in those special games. But yesterday, Cepeda got his first hit of the series, which could be a big thing. You break the ice, and psychologically it makes him feel a little bit better. And I think today, the fact that he got his first hit and McCarver got his first hit, I think the Cardinals probably have a chance to score a few more runs than they did in the first game. But I think Boston will also, simply because I think the first time a hitter sees a pitcher, I think it's to the pitcher's advantage. I think hitters need as much of a book about pitchers as pitchers need about hitters. And the hitter has to know how and what a pitcher throws. So I think I would have to pick Gibson again, only because as I said the first day, I think I've got that much respect for Bob Gibson. But I don't think it'll be possibly that much of a dominant ball game where, he really makes, the hitters look like they're struggling. I think Bob will pitch another good ball game. I think there'll be a few more. I don't think it'll be 2-1. I think it'll be 4 or 5 to maybe 3 or 4, something like that. I think it'll be a good ball game.
Now, you went over something there, and I went by in what you just said. You said you think that it is important for a hitter to have a book on the pitcher as the pitcher to have a book on the hitter. And I know many pitchers that sit around and watch and see what fellows hit and everything else. But you're telling me then that the hitters sit around, and you're saying that it's important for them to have a good book on the pitcher. Now, what do you mean by that? I mean, not what they throw, obviously, but what they throw in certain situations?
Well, actually, what they throw, what their pitches do, or actually what they threw in situations. I know that I've done my best when I was pitching to try and remember what a certain hitter hit. But it's amazing now, to me, now that I'm not playing, because you get a chance, the hitters will talk about it,
Sure.
like the pitchers will talk about it. I'll go in and talk to a hitter, and he'll remember something that happened 5 or 6 years ago, a pitch that I threw him. And I think the good hitters think about pitching and are as equally well-versed, on what the pitcher throws and what he has thrown them in situations. And I think this is a big step towards being a good hitter, and I think that's why a lot of times in the second game, after you've seen a pitcher, the hitter has not an edge necessarily. A good pitcher is going to pitch well and win ball games.
Now, let me ask you about it. We've glossed over. We have said before how Jose Santiago is pitching. He had a rough start in Boston, but nevertheless, he pitched well. Now, can he beat Gibson today?
Well, I think there's always that possibility. I'm just saying that if I had to pick the one man over the other one, I would have to pick Gibson over Santiago. But Santiago is a very capable pitcher. He did a great job for Boston down the stretch, and that was a big time of year for them. Who knows?
Who does know?
It's hard to say. I'm just, if I had to make a pick, I have to do it just because I have pitched against Gibson. I know what a job it is pitching against Gibson. Santiago, I think, is a fine pitcher. But as I said in the first show, I don't think he's a pitcher like Bob Gibson.
I've done this every day. I'm going to ask again your prediction for the day, okay?
All right.
All right. In just a moment, as we'll return with more on World Series Report.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing intermittent trouble with the color portion of this program. It is not the fault of your set or WLBT. We hope these troubles will be cleared up momentarily. Please stand by.
Rather than what they did in the first game, but so far I've done nothing but pick St. Louis, and I didn't do the show the one day I could have picked Boston so far, if I wanted to be right. But I'll go ahead and I'll pick Boston tomorrow on the strength, the same reason I'm picking.
Well, you're
St.
coming
Louis
on
today.
strong.
Yeah.
You're picking Gibson today.
I've got to go with Lonborg. It's no. You're picking the favorites in the race, I guess,
right.
But I'd have to do that. I know it'll be Carlton tomorrow, who's a fine, capable pitcher if he has good control. He's got great stuff, and he's got a control problem. But I'd still have to go with Lonborg, and I'd say, the rest of the series, you'll probably, if it goes 7, you'll probably see Gibson and Lonborg in the 7th game, which would be great.
Well, we'll find out what happens today, Sandy. We'll be back tomorrow. Stay tuned now for the 4th game of the 1967 World Series. Following station identification presents the 1967 World Series. The St. Louis Cardinals versus the Boston Red Sox. Brought to you by Winston Memorial Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, for the 4th game of the World Series. Hello, everybody. I'm Curt Gowdy of NBC Sports. With me, Caray, the voice of the St. Louis Cardinals. And it's 55 degrees here in St. Louis. An all-night rain again. Very raw and cold this morning. However, the temperature is gradually warming up.
And the two pitchers that open the World Series, Jose Santiago for the Red Sox and Bob Gibson for the Cardinals, are going against each other today. The Red Sox are one game down and again must play catch-up in this 1967 series. And Harry Caray, Red Shane needs to first thought he might pitch Bob Gibson tomorrow, but he's bringing him back today.
Yes, because in the event of a 7-game World Series, he wants Gibson ready for that 7th game, Curt. You know, the way this thing has gone so far, if the Cardinals stop Yastrzemski, they win. And if the Red Sox stop Lou Brock, they win. And it looks now that this is the way this thing is going to resolve itself as to which team can better stop the other key man on the other ball club. And so far, these two men, Curt, have been Lou Brock for the Cardinals, Carl Yastrzemski for the Red Sox.
And there's been a little feeling in both dugouts. Lonborg knocked 3 or 4 of the Cardinals down the game he pitched in Boston. Yastrzemski was hit yesterday, and Dick Williams makes no bones about it that he was hit deliberately, so we'll see what happens today.
Well, it just adds a little more excitement to what already has been a very interesting World Series, Curt.
All right, the fans are on their feet right now, and I believe they're going to raise the flag out there. But right now, Harry, while we have a little time, let's have you take us around this beautiful Busch Memorial Stadium.
330 down the left field line, Curt. We talked about it yesterday. It's not a tricky ballpark at all. It's a normal ballpark, symmetrical in size and distance. 386 over in left center, 414 to the center field wall. In a moment, the flag is going to be raised by the color guard. In right center, it's 386. It's a big ballpark, and yet you can't hit home runs in it. And 330 down the right field line. Bob Gibson working in that right field corner, and across the way, and it's Jose Santiago. They tell me we really didn't see the true Santiago in the first game of the series, Curt, that he's a much better pitcher than that.
Well, he was in the last few weeks of the season. There he is, Jose Santiago, who was in constant trouble in the opening game, but pitched a very tenacious game at Fenway Park. Santiago this year won 12, lost 4, 27 years old, from Puerto Rico. He is the starter today for the Red Sox. The ace of the Cardinal staff, Bob Gibson, who in the opening game beat the Red Sox 2-1, striking out 10 in that game, pitching a strong 6-hitter. He now has a record of 3 wins and 1 loss in World Series competition, and only one St. Louis Cardinal pitcher has ever won 4 World Series games. That was Harry the Cat Burkeen, who in the 1946 World Series beat the Red Sox 3 times in that series alone. So there they are, Gibson against Santiago. A very slight breeze here today. It will not be much of a factor unless the wind increases. And we're waiting now for our national anthem. Harry, any more comments from you?
Just about Bob Gibson, a word about his tenacity, Curt. Here's a fellow who broke his leg, in a game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. And after Clemente drilled a smash off his leg, breaking it, he stayed in the ballgame long enough to face 3 more men before he finally collapsed. And then he had to be carried off the field, and then it was determined that he did suffer a broken leg. The color guard, at attention. The flag about to be raised. There's only 2 men, by the way, in this World Series, I believe, who have hit safely in each contest. And that would be Javier for the Cardinals and the fine young third baseman Dalton Jones for the Red Sox, Curt.
The fans are already on their feet thinking the national anthem was going to be played. It'll be played after we have the introduction of the starting lineups and squads of both clubs. And now we'll have the Red Sox introduced and then the St. Louis Cardinals.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the lineups for Game 4 of the 1967 World Series. First, the Boston Red Sox. And here is the manager of the Red Sox, number 23, Dick Williams. Batting first and playing right field, number 12, Jose Tartabull. Batting second and playing third base, number 3, Dalton Jones. Batting third and playing left field, number 8, Carl Yastrzemski. Batting fourth and playing first base, number 5, George Scott. Batting fifth and playing center field, number 7, Reggie Smith. Batting 6th and playing second base, number 14, Jerry Adair. Batting 7th and playing shortstop, number 6, Rico Petroselli. Batting 8th and catching, number 18, Elston Howard. Batting 9th and pitching, Jose Santiago, who is warming up in the bullpen. And here are the remaining players and coaches of the Boston Red Sox.
There's the batting order today for the visiting Boston Red Sox.
And now for the St. Louis Cardinals. Here is manager Red Sox. Batting first and playing left field, number 20, Lou Brock. Batting second and playing center field, number 21, Curt Flood. Batting third and playing right field, number 9, Roger Maris. Batting fourth and playing first base, number 30, Orlando Cepeda. Batting fifth and catching, number 15, Tim McCarver. Batting sixth and playing third base, number 18, Mike Shannon. Batting seventh and playing second base, number 25, Julian Javier. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, number 27, Dal Maxwell. Batting ninth and pitching, number 45, Bob Gibson, who is warming up in the bullpen. And here are the remaining players and coaches of the St. Louis Cardinals.
And there is the Cardinal batting order.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem, which will be played by Dick Brenna's band and will be sung by St. Louis television personality Marty Bronson.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Incidentally, Mary Schoendienst, the wife of Red Schoendienst, the St. Louis manager, was supposed to sing the national anthem, but she has laryngitis. I guess rooting too much for the Cardinals. The fourth game of the 1967 World Series being brought to you from Busch Memorial Stadium as the Boston Red Sox meet. The umpires have already taken their position. Augie Donatelli of the National League behind the plate. Ed Runge of the American League at first. Paul Pryor of the National League at second. Johnny Stevens of the American League at third. Al Barlick of the National League will be umpiring the left field line. Frank Umont of the American League umpiring the right field line. We're waiting for the Cardinals and Bob Gibson to move to the field. And now to call the first half of today's game. We'll bring him in here in just a moment. Right now, we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network. With their big network, the king of the Ozarks, Mr. Harry Caray. Harry?
Thank you very much, Curt. Hello again, everybody. The lights have been turned on. It's a dark day. Frankie Frisch, the old Fordham Flash, about to throw out the first ball. There's the commissioner of baseball, Gussie Busch, the president of the Cardinals, and the Fordham Flash throws out the first ball. Tim McCarver returning it to him. There's Mr. Busch waving. He wants to throw it out again for the benefit of the photographers. And the Cardinals sprint onto the field here at Busch Memorial Stadium. The lights are on. The skies are overcast. The Cardinals lead in the World Series 2-1. This is how it all started last Wednesday at Fenway Park. Bob Gibson against Jose Santiago. Jose Tartabull will be leading it off. That's one change in the Red Sox lineup from that day. Tartabull didn't start the first game of the series. He came in as a pinch runner later on in the ballgame. Tartabull is looking for his first hit. Recall yesterday when he bunted at the time when the Red Sox trailed 3-0 that we mentioned that there's a possibility he would not be credited with a sacrifice if, in the judgment of the official scores, he was really bunting for a hit. Well, yesterday at first it was ruled that he had sacrificed, but today it's been changed, and so he has picked up another time at bat. The coaches, Bobby Doerr at first base, and Eddie Popowski at third base. All set to go. Bob Gibson facing Jose Tartabull. Fastball high. Tartabull hit .223 during the regular season. .224. Drove in 10 runs. There's a strike call. Gibson, last Wednesday, struck out 10 Red Sox. Fouled outside third base where Shannon is playing very shallow. They know of Tartabull's tendencies towards bunting. He's very fast. Augie Donatelli, the plate umpire. There's Shannon. Drop back just a little bit now. Smash. Cepeda knocking it down, picking it up to Gibson in time. Tartabull is retired on a hot smash that Cepeda knocked down, recovered, and flipped to Gibson. Curt, you'll see in Bob Gibson a complete athlete. He can run. He played basketball, you know, with the Harlem Globetrotters. He's a good hitter, a good runner, a good fielder, and, of course, a good pitcher.
Well, the Red Sox were wondering how much that broken leg would affect his fielding ability, but I guess he's as good as ever, right, Harry?
Seems that way. Here's Dalton Jones, the hottest hitter for the Red Sox. First pitch is a curveball outside. He's had 6 out of 13, batting .462. He's the only Red Sox to hit safely in each game. Javier is the only Cardinal to hit safely in each game. Fastball at the knee. That is Gibson's bread and butter pitch. Dalton Jones was hot at the end of the season. In the last 2 weeks, he had 15 out of his last 35 times at bat. There's a long drive if it stays fair, but it is foul. High into the mezzanine seats. Well, there is something that an eye popper by Dalton Jones. The Cardinals had him figured as a spray hitter with not too much power, but he really hit one a long way, albeit foul. 2 strikes and a ball. Little tap. Gibson. That'll be easy. Gibson throws out Dalton Jones. 2 up, 2 down for the Red Sox. And here's Carl Yastrzemski.
Harry, before the game, we asked Carl Yastrzemski his reaction on being hit by that pitch ball yesterday.
Well,
It didn't bother me at all because ball was thrown on my legs. If it was thrown high at my head or something like that, naturally then I would expect my pitches to retaliate. But I was hit 7 times during the season and knocked down about 30 times, so that didn't bother me at all, Curt.
Spoken like the true professional ball player. Carl, a Triple Crown winner for sure in the American League. 1 ball the count. Curve in there. The strike is called.
He said today he might try and hit differently, that he was trying to pull the ball too much yesterday, especially low outside pitches. Let's see if he tries to go to left field once or twice.
He was hitless against Gibson in Boston, nothing out of 4 in the first game. Curve, line drive, base hit. Yastrzemski hit a curveball like a bullet. And to make an observation, Curt, for it, Gibson doesn't look quite as quick as he did in Boston last Wednesday.
So far, you're right.
Here's George Scott. He hit .303 during the regular season with 19 homers and 81 RBIs. Greenville, Mississippi boy. Yastrzemski, the runner at first, 2 away. Scott had 2 out of 3 against Gibson. Fastball in there. Strike is called. He was the 4th best hitter in the American League this year with his .303 average. A 58-point improvement over last season. 1 strike, no ball. Good fastball. 2 strikes, no balls. And Gibson now seems to be finding his hard one. George Scott, right-handed batter up there. The runner at first base is Carl Yastrzemski. Carl now has had 4 out of 12 in the World Series. Takes a safe lead, a short lead. He struck him out swinging. A good fastball. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. At the end of the first half inning, Boston nothing, the Cardinals coming to bat.
The Red Sox nearly lost their shortstop in infield practice before the game. Rico Petrocelli was hit on the left knee by a ground ball. They took him into the clubhouse, applied ice packs. It's all right, it's sore, but he's in the starting lineup. And here we go now for the last of the first inning.
Jose Santiago allowed 10 hits in 7 innings last Wednesday, and Lou Brock had 4 of them. Brock had a perfect day against him, 4 out of 4. Lou Brock likes to hit the first pitch, likes to bunt. They play him straight away. Fastball sinks low. 1 ball, no strikes. 3 different times this year, Brock hit 2 homers in 1 game. That's unusual power for a leadoff man, and here in this big ballpark, too, by the way. Fastball in there for a strike, and he was ready to bunt. There's Dick Sisler, coaching at first base for the Cardinals. Joe Schultz at third base. Dick's father, George, I guess, was one of the greatest stars in baseball history. And Joe Schultz's dad, a great baseball man for years in the Cardinal and then Pittsburgh organization. Brock bouncing ball. He better hurry. Here's Dalton Jones. Peg. Safe. He beat it. Lou Brock lays out a high hopper down the third base line. And there.
Here's the way the speed of Brock puts the pressure on the defense constantly. The throw just a little to the left. Scott made a great stretch there, but you can see Brock flashing across the bag with an infield hit. And now watch him. He likes to go down on that first pitch, and Ellie Howard says he may call for some pitch outs. We'll see what they do.
Wednesday he did steal on the very first pitch by Santiago. He's got a big lead. He doesn't go, and there was the pitch out. 1 ball, no strikes. Now you can see the pressure that a fellow like Brock puts on the defense and also on the pitcher. For example, now Santiago has 1 pitch behind Flood already. Watch Brock in the upper corner of your screen. He's got a short lead right now, short for Brock. They throw over there, he's back easily. Brock said that he had Santiago zeroed in at Boston, even though it's about the first time he'd seen him. He doesn't go. Strike call. Both bases that he stole in the first game, by the way, were on the very first pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike on Curt Flood, who's had 2 out of 12 in this series. Batted .335 for the year. Brock being held by George Scott. Santiago at the belt. The pitch. Low outside. Gets away from Elston Howard, but Brock wasn't going. 2 balls and a strike, and the excitement generated by a Lou Brock when he gets on base, I think, is self-evident to you. There's Scott holding Lou Brock. Lou a shorter lead off the bag originally this time. There's a throw over there and he's back. 2 balls and a strike. Bottom of the first inning, no score. 4th game of the World Series. Flood likes to hit the ball to the opposite field. Base hit left field. And Brock will stop at second base. Curt Flood gets his 3rd hit of the series. A line shot to left, and here's Roger Maris, who's had 3 out of 11 in this World Series. He drove in the first run off Santiago in the 3rd inning on a ground ball in Boston Wednesday. He had .261 during the year. 9 homers, 55 runs batted in, and most of those runs were vital runs. Be interesting to see how the Cardinals elect to play here. Maris is going to swing away. Curveball in there, a strike call. Yesterday, in the first inning, the Cardinals started off the same way, with both Brock and Flood getting hits. Only yesterday it was a triple by Brock and then a single by Flood. Line drive left field, extra bases. 1 run is in. Another man's around third base, he'll score. Maris going into second base with a double. The St. Louis Cardinals in this World Series find Maris their leading producer so far as driving in runs. He drove in the 2 made in the first game. He drove in 1 yesterday, and now he has driven in 2 more. 5 RBIs for Maris with 4 hits. Out of the 9 runs scored by the Cardinals, Maris has driven in 5 of them. A little drizzle starting to fall. 2-0 in favor of the Cardinals. Orlando Cepeda the batter. There's a great shot right here. Fly ball, right field. Tartabull coming in. Makes the catch on the run. Here's Maris trying for third. The throw. Safe.
Dalton Jones gave it the old decoy there at third, standing up as if the throw were not coming in or had been cut off. Close play, but Maris with some hustling base running gets over there.
This game is authorized under television rights granted by the Commissioner of Baseball solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Commissioner is prohibited. Tim McCarver comes up. The infield has to move in. A runner at third base with 1 out. A daring play by Roger Maris. That fly ball was shallow. Gary Bell is in the bullpen. Here's a curve low and inside. McCarver 1 out of 10 in the series. He was hitless against Santiago in Boston. Maris at third. Infield in. Jose Santiago trailing 2-0 in the first inning. Fastball low. 2 balls, no strikes. Brock a scratch infield hit that he legged out. Flood a solid single to left. Maris a double into the left field corner, driving in both runs. Cepeda on a fly ball to right that enabled Maris to advance to third after the catch, and that's the situation. Santiago facing Tim McCarver. Base hit, right field, the run is in. With 2 balls, no strikes. McCarver lines a single in the right to make it 3-0 in favor of the Cardinals. That will bring up Mike Shannon, a home run hitter yesterday. This partisan St. Louis crowd, of course, is in an uproar as the Cardinals have jumped out in front. Shannon hitting .400 for the series with 4 out of 10. He hit .245 during the regular season. Curve low. McCarver's first run batted in of the series. You got to look at McCarver. He's fast for a catcher. Swung and missed a curveball. That evens it at a ball and a strike. Jose Santiago from Puerto Rico. A close friend of Orlando Cepeda of the Cardinals. But he hasn't given us Cepeda a hit yet. Orlando's 0 for 5 against his friend. That was a curveball again, the jug, as they say, and Shannon went around. Two strikes and a ball, 1 out. 3 runs are in. The Cardinals out in front. Jose Santiago. Curveball. He throws his bat at the ball, and it's going to be caught by Petrocelli in foul territory. Shannon threw his bat as he was fooled by a curveball, fouled to Petrocelli. Petrocelli, a very fine shortstop with a great arm and good power. Javier is the only Cardinal to hit in every game so far. He's batting .400, .281 during the regular season. This 1967 World Series telecast comes to you from Busch Memorial Stadium in St. Louis, live in color and exclusively on NBC. Javier, sharp ground ball. Petrocelli. Everybody is safe. They might give him a hit. It might be an error. Bob Addy of the Washington Post, Larry Claflin of the Boston Record American, and Neil Russo of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch are the scorers, and they have ruled that's a hit. So Javier now is hit in all 4 games of the series. Maxville is hitless in the series. 0 for 7. Runners at first and second. Curveball low and away. 1 ball, no strike. This is the 8th man to come up in this inning. Down Maxville. Untouted, unheralded, but a key member of this St. Louis Cardinal team. Santiago's pitch. High and tight ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Dalton Jones at third base. Rico Petrocelli at shortstop. Jerry Adair at second base. George Scott at first base. And 27-year-old Jose Santiago, the pitcher. Base hit left field. Watch the play at the plate. Yastrzemski firing. Safe. And the other runners lined up at second and third. Maxville singles to left. Scoring, McCarver. On the throw to the plate, Javier advanced to third, and Maxville to second. And the Cardinals now lead 4-0. And the pitching coach, former pitching great of the National League, Sal Maglie, is walking out to talk to Jose Santiago. Curt, they really jumped on him in a hurry today.
They stung him hard. Every ball except Brock's infield hit sharply. And the Cardinals say as Brock goes early in the game, so do we. Every time Brock hits early, his first time up, second time up, gets on. He starts our attack rolling. That's been just about the story of the series outside of the pitching. If they stop Yastrzemski, the Cardinals win. The Red Sox, when they don't stop Brock, the Cardinals go on. Gary Bell was a starter yesterday, was knocked out after 2 innings, and he's been warming up out there. The bullpens are beyond our view. We can't get the warm-up pitchers. They're flashed on the board, and we'll see who comes in here. Looks like Bell.
You know, Curt, getting back to, we'll talk about it in a moment, there's a break in the action here at Busch Memorial Stadium. The score, the Cardinals 4, the Red Sox nothing. Gary Bell, who started the game yesterday, comes in relief for the Boston Red Sox. I started to comment, Curt, that Flood enjoyed his greatest season. He hit .335, and you wonder how much of that improvement in batting might not be contributed to the distraction of a Lou Brock getting on base ahead of him. The pitcher more concerned about the runner than really the hitter.
Must be of help to him. And, of course, Brock and Flood are those table setters, reminding Red Sox fans of their 46 team when they had DiMaggio and Pesky always on base, hitting ahead of Williams. Well, besides bringing you Major League Baseball's World Series, plus American Football League action every Sunday, NBC telecasts the tops of postseason football, the American Football League Championship, the All-Star Game, there's the Senior Bowl, the East-West Game, and then the big triple-header on New Year's Day, the Sugar Bowl, the Rose Bowl, and the Orange Bowl. The best of live color sports action. Stay tuned to NBC.
All right, Gary Bell will face Bob Gibson. Bell will be 31 next month. Lives in San Antonio, Texas. Won 13, lost 13 this season. And Gibson, a good hitting pitcher, takes a fastball low. Runners are on second and third. Bob Gibson. That was typical of Maxville. His first hit of the series drives in a big run. Bob Gibson, who loves to talk about his hitting prowess. Strike call. This is Bell's 13th year in professional baseball, his 10th in the American League. Had an earned run average of 3.30 this past season. 1 ball, 1 strike. High pop fly. This should end the inning. Yastrzemski takes it. So it is 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors, 2 left. So at the end of 1 full inning, the Cardinals 4, the Red Sox nothing.
We talked to Tim McCarver, the Cardinal catcher, before the game. Asked him about Bob Gibson. He knows him as well as anyone.
Well, Curt, I think the fans can look for a fastball that moves quite a bit. Bob's fastball is definitely his best pitch, and a pretty good slider and a real good curveball. He's got real good rotation on his curve, and since he broke his leg, he's had real good control of all 3 pitches.
Tim McCarver commenting about Bob Gibson. 1 ball, no strike on Reggie Smith. Left-handed batter takes outside. Ball 2. Reggie Smith has had 3 out of 10, including a home run in this series. During the season, he hit .249 with 15 home runs. Fine little ball player. There's a long drive, but it's going to go foul. Like Dalton Jones, Reggie Smith hits one a mile, but foul. 2 balls and a strike. Javier with the rolling ball over to Cepeda for the out. Reggie Smith bounces to Javier. 1 gone, and that'll bring up Jerry Adair, the second baseman from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Hit .266 during the season, drove in 37 runs. Did a fine job in the closing weeks of the season for the Red Sox. High pop foul into the stands. Strike 1. You know, a year ago they said Adair talked his way out of a share of the World Series by demanding that he either be played or traded by Baltimore. They traded him to the White Sox. Baltimore went on to win the World Series. But Jerry maybe knew what he was doing. There's a foul tip. He winds up this year with a team that does get into the World Series, the Boston Red Sox.
Well, you can understand how an established player, he was a regular. There's no established major leaguer, still in his late 20s, wants established major leaguer, still in his late 20s, wants to sit on that bench.
A 1-1 pitch swung and missed. Good curveball that time. 2 strikes and a ball on Jerry Adair. 2 out of 12 in the series. He struck him out. Good curveball. That's 2 strikeouts for Gibson. You know, Gibson is pitching in his 5th World Series game. He has a mark of 3-1 so far with an earned run average of 2.50. Petrocelli takes a curve in there. Petrocelli, 1 out of 8 in the series, hit .259. Fine shortstop. Struck out 3 times in a row against Gibson in Boston. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 out, nobody on.
Harry, the thing that surprised the Red Sox about Gibson was the way he moves the ball around, in and out, up and down. They all praised him for that.
The fastball low and away. 2 balls and a strike. See, Gibson now in World Series competition has pitched, working on his 38th inning, and he's had 43 strikeouts. Foul tip back. Petrocelli might be a little fella, but he sure swings that bat. About 5'11" or so. Good actions in the field and great power with the bat. Two balls, 2 strikes. Cardinals are leading 4-0. Foul tip back. Petrocelli, the hitter. The Cardinals jumped on Santiago for 6 hits and 4 runs in 2/3 of an inning. Bob Gibson from Omaha went to Creighton University. He'll be 32 in November. 2-2 pitch. Cepeda chasing the ball near the stands, but it's no play. We're in the top of the 2nd. 4-0 in favor of St. Louis. 2 men out, nobody on base. Rico Petrocelli. He struck him out. He tried to stop. He had gone around. 3rd strikeout for Gibson. Nothing across for the Red Sox. And the score at the end of an inning and a half, St. Louis 4, Boston nothing. You see the commissioner of baseball, William D. Eckert, and to his right, his daughter sitting in there, and then Ford Frick, the former commissioner of baseball, Charlie Seeger. There's Julian Goodman and Carl Lindemann of NBC. Jack Barlow and Joe Reichler, who's the... And John McHale, the assistant to the commissioner, sitting behind Joe Reichler there. Lou Brock leading it off again. Takes Gary Bell's first pitch high. Boy, that Brock led off 4 times yesterday. He's always starting an inning. The attendance is the same as yesterday, 54,575. high fly will be caught by Yastrzemski and Lynch. One away. Lou Brock is retired on a fly ball to Yastrzemski. You know, Curt Brock has hit home runs into the mezzanine seats in left field here, and also hit them into the runway in right center.
I was surprised to look at the Cardinals statistics and see that he led the Cardinals for home runs in his own ballpark.
Yeah. Here's Curt Flood. He bunts foul back. 1 strike and no ball. All of these Cardinals who've started today and have started every game have been, not every game because Hughes had never been in a World Series before, but Riles had not appeared in a World Series, but this starting lineup today, every man played in '64. Maris not with the Cardinals, of course, but a seasoned veteran of World Series competition with the Yankees. So this is a young ball club, yet experienced. The Red Sox with a young ball club, most of them playing in their first series. 2 balls and a strike. Boy, I wonder what the situation in the series would be right now if Tony Conigliaro were in the Red Sox lineup, Curt.
Well, they missed Tony immensely the last 6 weeks, still won it. But when they get him back in there next year along with Smith, Yastrzemski, they'll have one of the best outfields in the game.
Flood pops up. George Scott calling for it. 2 men away. So Gary Bell has retired the 3 men he's faced. Gibson to end the first inning. Brock and Flood to start the second inning. Roger Maris, whose double drove in 2 in the first inning, and who leads in RBIs now with 5. He's moved ahead of Yastrzemski, who has 4 in this series. You know, Maris took one look at this ballpark and decided that he wasn't going to pull as a member of the Cardinals, that he was going to hit the ball to all fields. And that's what he has done. Curve in there. Gary Bell with a good fastball and a sharp breaking curve. Seems to have much better stuff today than he had as a starter yesterday. Cepeda in the on-deck circle. That was a let-up curveball outside. 2 balls and a strike. Dick Sisler fields that foul ball, coaching first base. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, nobody on. The Cardinals are leading 4-0. We're in the bottom of the second inning. The 5th game of the World Series here tomorrow. Same time, same channels. Scott unassisted. So the Cardinals go down in order, 1, 2, 3. And the score here in St. Louis at the end of 2 innings. St. Louis 4, Boston, nothing. On Monday, October the 16th, Chrysler presents the Bob Hope Comedy Special with Bob's special guests, Debbie Reynolds, Steve Lawrence, and Edie Gourmet. There will be music, fun, and laughter Monday, October the 16th, right here on NBC. Elston Howard swings and lifts a pop foul. Cepeda under the ball, and he takes it. So Howard fouls to Cepeda. 1 out. Gibson now has retired 5 in a row. Joe Foy is going to be the pinch hitter, batting for Gary Bell. Joe Foy, he's 0 for 2 in this particular series, had 15 homers during the regular season, and takes a curveball in the first strike call. Make it 16 homers, hit 242, drove in 50 runs. Swings and misses a curveball. Gibson with a good breaking ball today. One man out, nobody on base. The score 4-0 in favor of the Cardinals. He struck him out swinging. 4 strikeouts for Gibson. He fanned 10 Wednesday at Fenway Park. He's got 4 and 3 innings here at Busch Memorial Stadium. Jose Tartabull coming up. He's 0 for 9 in the series. Good fastball in there for a strike call. Bob Gibson really pushes off that mound. You get an idea of the effort that he expends. Now watch him come off of it. Look at that. You can tell everything he's got goes into the pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jose Tartabull. That was a knee-high fastball, and he swung through it. Jerry Stevenson, a young right-hander warming up for the Red Sox. Looks like he'll be their 3rd pitcher today. 2 strikes and a ball. Tartabull hits a ground ball to Cepeda. He's got it, takes it by himself this time. Twice now Tartabull has hit the ball sharply, but right at Cepeda. So the Red Sox go down in order, 1, 2, 3, nothing across. And at the end of 2.5 innings, the score, St. Louis 4, Boston nothing.
Don't forget, right after this World Series telecast, NBC will bring you the game between the Miami Dolphins and last year's AFL champion Kansas City Chiefs. The game will follow immediately. By the way, Buffalo's in Denver today with a game televised back to Buffalo. Boston is also in San Diego later today on the American Football League schedule. Jerry Stevenson of California, big bonus boy with the Red Sox 4 years ago, who 2 years ago was considered to have the best stuff in the staff, never could get himself on track. He came up with a bad elbow in the minor leagues, hurt himself falling off a mound in Seattle. He been with the Red Sox briefly the year before. They finally sent him back to Toronto out of spring training this year, and he earned another shot, and he pitched some good games for the Red Sox in their stretch drive. And barring any further injuries, he should become a regular starter for the Red Sox next year. So Jerry Stevenson on. He's the 3rd pitcher for the Red Sox. Santiago was wrapped hard, pitching 2/3 of an inning, giving up 6 hits and 4 runs. Gary Bell went an inning in the 3rd, no hits, no runs. Here we go now with the Cardinals out in front, 4-0, last of the 3rd, and Harry Caray.
All right, Curt. By the way, Jerry Stevenson celebrated his 24th birthday this past Friday. Anaheim, California boy. Orlando Cepeda leading off against him. Cepeda has had 1 out of 12 in the series. Got a booming double to right center, driving in the run yesterday. Good fastball at the knee. Stevenson coming right over the top. He's tall and rangy. Nice-looking youngster. Born in Detroit, now lives in Anaheim. There's a shot to left. That might be extra bases. Cepeda's rounding first. Yastrzemski up throwing. Cepeda goes in standing up. Cepeda doubles into the left field corner.
You know, Harry, yesterday, as the Cardinals came up for their last time at bat with 2 down, Maris singled. The Cardinals said that was a big hit. It didn't mean anything in the ball game, but it brought Cepeda up, and he doubled for his first hit of the series, and the Cardinals thought that might bring him out of his slump. Maybe it has.
Well, he certainly hit that ball on the nose. And here is Tim McCarver, who drove in his first run of the series in the 1st inning with a single. Tim had his personal high so far as career marks are concerned this past season with his 14 home. That was high for him, 69 RBIs. He hit 295. Had a cut of the curve, and he fouled it back. Cepeda in scoring position, nobody out. Bottom of the 3rd, 4-0 St. Louis. Yes, McCarver, who's a very popular young man, not only here in St. Louis, but especially in his hometown of Memphis. He's the Cardinals player representative, a very articulate young man. Fastball is low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cepeda in scoring position at second base. Tim McCarver, the hitter. This is a situation where McCarver will be trying to pull the ball to at least advance Cepeda to third. He pulls it, line drive foul, though, into the right field corner. 2 strikes and a ball. Cepeda is not known for his speed, but he takes advantage of the opposition. He stole something like 11 bases this past season. He has good judgment on the bases. 2 strikes and a ball. McCarver, the hitter. The Red Sox shade him towards right field. High pop foul. Out of play. You know, remember yesterday, everybody in shirt sleeves. Today, it's obviously different. Raincoats and top coats. 2 strikes and a ball. Cepeda at second base. With Orlando in this series, it's been double or nothing. He's had 2 hits, both doubles. Curve into the dirt. Here's Cepeda trying to go, and he'll make it. Curve ball into the dirt. See, a wild pitch. It's ruled a wild pitch. And Cepeda now is at third base with nobody out. The count on McCarver, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The infield now is forced to come in. The Cardinals already have a 4-run lead. They can't afford to give them any more. So the infield comes in on the grass. And Jerry Stevenson winds and fires. Fly ball, center field. Now watch this play at the plate. Reggie Smith has a great arm. Here comes Cepeda. Here comes the throw. Cepeda scores. As Smith's throw went right into the ground and rolled. And it wasn't the type of a throw, Curt, that I was anticipating. How about you?
Well, he can throw the ball on the fly 400 feet. Sometimes he has a fall of releasing the ball too quickly and does drive it into the ground ahead of him. He's made some accurate throws in the tail end of the season. That was not one of them. No, I doubt if he could have got Cepeda anyway. It was hit fairly deep.
All right, it's 5-0 in favor of the Cardinals. Here's Mike Shannon. Curveball low. So the wild pitch really hurt as it advanced Cepeda to third from where he could score on the fly ball. McCarver now has driven in 2 runs in this game. 5-0 St. Louis, bottom of the third. Fastball low. In tomorrow's 5th game, the pitchers will be Jim Lonborg for the Red Sox. He pitched a brilliant 1-hitter against the Cardinals in Boston earlier in the week. And 22-year-old left-handed Steve Carlton for the Cardinals. Fastball low. 3 balls, no strikes. 1 out, nobody on. Redbirds out in front. They got out in front early yesterday, you know. Scoring 1 in the first and 2 in the second. Today they got 4 in the first and now 1 here in the third. Good fastball, strike call. Mike Shannon, 28-year-old third baseman. All-state high school football, basketball, baseball star. Here's the pitch. Fouled out of play off to the right. Went to the University of Missouri for a freshman year. A T quarterback who could pass the ball 80 yards in the air. And Coach Dan Devine was a very unhappy man when Mike Shannon decided to play professional baseball rather than college football.
How far?
Well, that's what they say. 3 balls, 2 strikes. High and tight, and he walked. Shannon draws a base on ball. And here's Javier. Javier, with 5 out of 11, has had a fine World Series, and he has hit safely in each game. Talking with Elston Howard as he comes out. You see his average for the series there at .455. Hooley had his greatest season in the big leagues hitting .281. With 14 homers, 64 runs batted in. And he was a tremendous second baseman all year long for the Cardinals. Most people give Orlando Cepeda credit for the improvement in Javier. Hooley had a communication problem there. When Cepeda joined the ball club, why, his effervescence and his ability to understand Javier's reactions. Fastball low. And manager Red Shandies almost made Javier Cepeda's personal responsibility. In other words, Orlando, I think, was the manager of Hooley. Certainly worked out perfectly. The pitch by Jerry Stevenson. Smash! Fair ball, left field corner. Extra bases. Shannon on his way to third. They might send him in. Here he comes. And it's a double for Javier, scoring another run. You notice that ball in the left field corner must have hit something and bounced back. And Yastrzemski had to come towards the plate to pick it up. A double and an RBI for Javier, and it's 6-0 in favor of the Cardinals.
Here's the replay now. He drills it just inside the bag. Jones dived for it. And there's the ball now as it caroms around. Yastrzemski has to come back. He thought it was going into the corner. Gannon scoring, and the Cardinals continue to pound the Red Sox pitching and have now built up the 6-0 lead.
Here's Dow Maxville. He drove in a run with a base hit in the first inning. It was his first hit of the series. The curve is in there for a strike ball. Jerry Stevenson, the third Red Sox pitcher today. The Cardinals have pounded out 8 hits for 6 runs. And 3 of them have been doubles. Curve, strike 2. 2 strikes, no ball. 1 out, 2 runs are in. 24-year-old Jerry Stevenson in his first World Series competition. Ground ball to short. Javier going to third as Maxville is retired. Petroselli threw out Maxville. Javier advancing to third base. Pitcher Bob Gibson getting a fine hand from the crowd. He didn't have any home runs this season and batted only .133. He was a little unhappy about that. Had a home run cut at that one. During his pitching career in the National League, Gibson has hit 12 home runs, which is a respectable total for a pitcher. Dave Moorhead now warming up for the Red Sox. That's Javier at third. Look out! And the count is even and a ball and a strike. Bob Gibson, the hitter. Javier playing it safe at third base. Now he comes down the line. Fly ball will be caught by Reggie Smith in center field. He has it. So it's 2 runs for the Cardinals, 2 hits, no errors, 1 left. And at the end of 3 innings here, the score, Cardinals 6, Red Sox nothing. Harry Caray with Curt Gowdy at Busch Memorial Stadium. Here's Dalton Jones leading off the 4th inning for the Red Sox, and the fastball is in there for a strike call. Jones was retired on a tap back to Gibson in the 1st inning. He's had a fine series, hitting in every game up until this one. He's going to the opposite field, but he fouled it off, strike 2. 2 strikes and nothing. Gibson with a 6-run lead. Top of the 4th. Fastball low. Gibson seems to be throwing harder now than he did earlier. Carl Yastrzemski will be next. Foul tip. A breaking ball that time. 2 strikes and a ball.
Harry, his curve seems to be acting up better here than it did in Boston.
He's a tough pitcher to beat, especially when he's got a 6-run lead, Kurt. 2 strikes and a ball. He fouled it off his foot. Rolls into fair territory, and Dalton Jones does a little bit of a sort of a cha-cha-cha step that time. That's one of those off the instep. A lot of ball players wear a little shin guard, as it were, to guard against the pain that comes from those kind of foul balls.
I remember Vic Wirtz, Ted Williams used to wear them for months and years sometimes.
2 strikes and a ball. Smash foul into the right field corner. Frank Umont is working the right field line, and Al Barlick the left field line. There you see the dean of the National League umpires over there after getting a quick glimpse of Frank Umont of the American League. That fly ball will be caught. Lou Brock has it. So Dalton Jones flies out to Brock in left center, and here's Carl Yastrzemski. He singled off Gibson in the first. He's 4 out of 12 in the series. Boy, what a season this boy had. He had almost a whole career in one season. 121 RBIs, 326 batting average, 44 homers. 1 ball, no strike. Top of the 4th, 6-0, St. Louis. He was going towards left field with that cut, but he fouled it off, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. Get a look at McCarver there. Fastball at the knees and over the outside corner. Now there's what you call a perfect pitcher's pitch. 2 strikes and a ball, 1 out. Carl Yastrzemski takes high, and it's 2-2. George Scott would be next. Bob Gibson. Fouled out of play to the left. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Another capacity crowd of 54,575, identically the same with yesterday's attendance, and will be the same tomorrow, too, because that's everything. Every seat and all the standing room they're allowed to sell. Gibson's got the bouncing ball over to first, and Yastrzemski is retired. 2 out, and here's George Scott. Scott fanned in the first inning. In the first game against Gibson, he had 2 out of 3. 2 men are out, nobody on base, top of the 4th. The Cardinals are out in front, 6-0. Good cut of the fastball, and he fouled it back. Cool gray day here. Good curveball, strike 2. Gibson's only been beaten once in World Series competition. Sidearms him that time, but he throws it back to the screen. This is the 5th game that he has started in the 2 World Series he's competed in. He's shooting for his 4th complete game in 5 starts. He's foul tip. Augie Donatelli with a quick sign. to indicate that McCarver caught that foul tip, but only after it hit the ground. 2 strikes and a ball. Would you call that a rocking chair position? Might be a hit. Through into left field. Scott bounces a single. Brock, after momentarily fumbling the ball, recovers in time. The Red Sox, 6 runs behind, are in no position to take any chances on the bases. They have to play for a big inning. Here's Reggie Smith, the center fielder. He bounced out his first time. This youngster has fine power, great speed, and takes a fastball low and inside. 1 ball, no strike. He led his team in stolen bases with 16 this past season. Takes the pitch low. He's just 22 years old, lives out in Los Angeles, born in Shreveport. Curt?
Don't mess with this boy, Harry. He's studying karate. He and his wife. And he's had karate studies now for about a year and is getting very efficient at it.
I'll never say an unkind word about him.
Oh, sir.
2 balls, no strikes. The stretch. Bouncing ball to Cepeda. He's got it. Takes the play himself. And the Red Sox go down in the top of the 4th with no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. And the score at the end of 3.5 innings here in St. Louis, the Cardinals 6, the Red Sox nothing. And there you see the fulfillment of a dream here, the famous Gateway Arch, extending majestically, I might say, over that battery of lights atop the left field roof here. Here's Lou Brock to lead it off again in the bottom of the 4th. This is the 3rd time in this game he has led off. Yesterday, he was the first man up in 4 different innings. And there's a long drive. That's going to be extra bases against the wall. A fan touches it. I think it'll be you'll have to stop at second base. The ball bounced so high, a fan reached over the wall and touched it, and they're going to send Brock to second base, which really is a bad break for him because he would have had 3 bases on that cloud, Curt.
Standing up, he would have been in there. Boy, I tell you, I'd love to see him run, Harry. Let's watch it now and see on this rerun. There's a drive in the deep right center. That's Tartable chasing the ball, and that fan, as you saw, and he was dismayed he didn't come up with the ball for a souvenir out there in right center. But Brock had a cinch triple, and on the ground rule double now is on second.
So Brock now paces all hitters. He has 8 hits in this series in 15 times at bat. And a double is included now along with a triple among his extra base hits. He's hitting .533. Here's Flood. He was going to bunt. The curveball is outside. Jerry Stevenson, young right-hander from Anaheim, California, the 3rd pitcher. There you have a look at what Brock has done in this World Series. 8 hits in 4 games. Brock a lead. Now, he doesn't like to steal third base. He rarely does. He figures when he's on second base with fellows like Flood, Maris, and Cepeda behind him that it's an undue risk to take to be thrown out because Flood is a .335 hitter. Maris is known as a great clutch hitter, and Cepeda, of course, had the most RBIs of anybody in the National League. So he rarely tries to steal third. Ground ball to the second baseman. Flood accomplishes his purpose. He gets Brock to third base with only 1 out. Brock, here's the way Brock is going in this series. He was on base 3 times in the first game. Oh, this is the leadoff time. 15 different times in 4 games he's been the first man up in an inning. So that's enhances the Cardinals' chances of scoring when he leads off. The infield is in, Maris the batter. Line shot foul. Maris getting out in front real well today. Lou Brock's at third with 1 away. Even with the infield in, as we discovered in the first game of the series, Brock is a hard man to keep from scoring on a ground ball. He gets a fine running start at third base. Maris, who leads the hitters in RBIs with 5. A chance to make it 6. Brock at third, only 1 out. The infield in on the grass. Jerry Stevenson's pitch. The curve is low. One ball, 1 strike. 1 out. There you can watch Brock as well as we can. Down the line, the pitch. He had a cut but missed a curveball. Jerry Stevenson really snapped one off that time. 2 strikes and a ball. We're in the 4th. 6-0 in favor of the Cardinals. High. Ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jerry Stevenson. Curve low, ball 3, Elston Howard. Good trap of the pitch into the dirt. So it's a full count on Maris, and Cepeda will be up there next. Stevenson glances at Brock. Bouncing ball, and Scott fields the ball. Let's see, is it fair? He's run Maris down towards home plate to tag him out to make sure that Brock cannot advance. So Maris bounces out to Scott. Scott fielded the ball right over the bag and came running towards the plate to make sure that Brock was not able to advance. So here's Cepeda. Flied out to right in the first, double to left in the third. Facing Jerry Stevenson now with 2 out and Brock at third base. Orlando looking down at the third base coach, Joe Schultz. Dalton Jones guarding the line at third base. Curve is low. Cepeda is known as a great breaking ball hitter. The sun trying to fight its way out from behind the clouds. Smash to Jones. He'll throw him out, and he does. So a fine job of pitching by the youngster after the leadoff double by Brock. And it's no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. At the end of 4, the score, St. Louis 6 and Boston nothing. Curt Gowdy, as we go into the top half of the 5th inning, Jerry Adair will lead it off. Struck out his first time up. Fastball is low.
Well, Harry Bob Gibson's now pitched 13 innings in this World Series. The Red Sox have had only 1 man to third base on him. That was Santiago, who homered in the opening game. He's been overpowering.
The pitch is foul back, and the count is evened up at a ball and a strike. Remember, Santiago hit the home run with a count of no balls, 2 strikes at Fenway Park to tie up that first game, and the Cardinals won up to 7. Adair swings and misses. Gibson has fanned 4. He has a comfortable lead, 6-0. Curveball bounced. Shannon, a long throw. Mike Shannon throws out Jerry Adair. And there's one away in here is Rico Petrocelli, the shortstop. Lou Brock in the 4 games, and this 4th game is only in the 4th inning, the 5th inning. Brock has been on base in this series 9 times, 8 hits and a walk. He has scored 5 runs. Petrocelli fouls one out of play into the stand. One of life's most glorious moments, when you can proudly show off that baseball you just grabbed. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on. Top of the 5th. There's a fastball, rips through McCarver's glove back to the screen. 2 balls and a strike. Gibson, a tremendous competitor. And that's why manager Ed Chandies used him here today. He wanted to have him available for the 7th game if necessary. Bouncing ball to Shannon. A good throw will get him. It's in the dirt, but Cepeda scoops it out beautifully. 2 men are out. And here's Elston Howard. Born and raised in St. Louis, although now makes his home in New York. Played some 9 World Series with the Yankees, I guess. 37 years old. Lives in Teaneck, New Jersey now. Fastball low. Elston Howard. 1 out of 7 in the series. There's a fly ball center field. Easy play for Flood, and he takes it. And the Red Sox are down in order. 1, 2, 3, nothing across. At the end of 4.5 innings here, the score, St. Louis 6, Boston nothing. Going to employ their 4th pitcher of the afternoon, Dave Moorhead, a right-hander coming in. Started with Santiago, allowing 6 hits, 4 runs, and 2/3 of an inning. Then Gary Bell, then Jerry Stevenson, and now Dave Moorhead. As we go into the bottom half of the 5th inning, it's my pleasure to introduce a man who needs no introduction, NBC's famous Game of the Week voice, a good friend and a wonderful announcer, Curt Gowdy.
Thank you, Harry. Good job. Dave Moorhead, who pitched a no-hit, no-run game against the Cleveland Indians in 1965, then came up with arm trouble in 1966. His arm finally healed. He was in Toronto this year in the International League. Red Chandies, the Cardinal manager, right now sitting pretty with a 6-run lead. Moorhead earned his way back to the Red Sox. He won 5, lost 4. Pitching in 10 games during the last 2 months of the season from San Diego, California. The only effective pitcher against the Cardinals today, Gary Bell, who worked an inning in the 3rd and retired 4 batters in a row. The Cardinals cuffed Santiago in the 1st, and they banged Stevenson around in the 3rd. We also have a new catcher now. Mike Ryan has gone behind the plate, replacing Elston Howard. Tim McCarver, who has singled, had a sacrifice fly. He's knocked in 2 runs, batting 182 in the series. A strike to him on the inside corner. Well, all the Cardinals said when Cepeda and McCarver start hitting, we're in clover. Cepeda's had a double today, McCarver a single. As Brock continues to harass the Red Sox. Shannon's on deck, and then Javier. A 1-strike pitch. Curve is a foul ball, strike 2. Carver trying to hold up. If you joined us late, it's about 55 degrees here. A slate gray day, very raw and chilly this morning. Rain last night. The 2-strike pitch, a ball. We have not had ideal weather here in St. Louis for the weekend.
Actually, the weather was better in Boston, Curt.
Especially that first day, a gorgeous New England fall day. There's a curve that's fouled off over to the Cardinal dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Tim McCarver. Cardinals ahead, 6-0. Nobody on, nobody out here in the last of the 5th.
You know where it goes? Right in the end.
The 1-2 pitch. Way up high. 2-2 to McCarver. Red Sox play him as a pull hitter to right field. Fouls it back. 2-2. Well, tomorrow, Jim Lonborg goes for the Red Sox, and the young Cardinal left-hander Steve Carlton will be working for St. Louis. Same time, 2 o'clock Eastern time is the start of the ball game. Struck him out on a high fastball, 1 away. We'll have our pregame show on at 1:30 Eastern time, and we'll sign on here with the World Series game at 1:45 Eastern time. Mike Shannon fouled out and walked. Batting .364 in the series. Strike to him on a good curveball. Moorhead really had a curve a couple of years ago. One of the best curves in the American League. One of those curves that was really sharp. And a bounding ball to really sharp. The bounding ball to Adair at second. 2 away. And Javier coming up. Javier's had an infield hit, and he's doubled the left. He's driven in a run. And he now has had 6 hits and 12 times up in this series, an average of 500. Dal Maxville on deck. Cardinals got 4 in the first, 2 in the third. They're leading 6-0. The Red Sox must play catch-up today, not only in this game, but in the series itself. The strike. And against a pitcher like Gibson, they have a tough task ahead of them. Two down, nobody on. The 1-strike pitch, fouled off. Joe Schultz, the third base coach, up with it. There's Maxville, the on-deck batter. Nothing in 2 to Javier. Played straight away. The Cardinals are mostly a straightaway hitting ball club. Curve got him, and that's all. A good inning for Moorhead as he set him down 1-2-3. At the end of the 5th inning, the score, the St. Louis Cardinals 6 and the Boston Red Sox nothing. And is hitting in the number 9 spot. The pitcher Moorhead will be batting in the number 8 spot. Ryan hit .201 this year with 2 homers from Haverhill, Massachusetts. Fouls it back. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Red Sox have had only 2 singles off Bob Gibson. Yastrzemski singled to right in the first. Scott singled to left in the 4th. Gibson's had marvelous control. He hasn't walked the batter. He's been ahead of the hitters. And Ryan strikes out on a low breaking pitch. 5 strikeouts now for Bob Gibson. There's strictly no nonsense guy on that mound. A real professional. Jose Tartabull grounded out the first twice. He hit the ball sharply his first time up. A strike to him. Gibson won 13 games this year and missed nearly 2 months. Almost a certain 20-game winner without his injury. Nothing in 2. Oh, he's just like a machine out here.
Yeah, he's sharp. He's very sharp today, Curt.
The 2-strike pitch. Just missed that inside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Tartabull. Dalton Jones on deck. The Cardinals are leading 6-0. Red Sox batting in the top of the 6th. Pitch. Foul out of play. There's the drive back to the box. Javier has great range. The ball got by, and here's McCarver backing up the play. Javier can really cover ground around second base. Batter right now, Dalton Jones, who's grounded to the pitcher and flying out. Jones batting .400 in the series. Most base hits of any of the Red Sox players. Takes the fastball. 0-1 to him. Line drive punched out toward Lou Brock. He's there. So he should have the best ahead of him. Ball 2, strike 2, 2-2.
You know, Gibson's throwing them all fastballs on this sequence, Curt.
And he's still moving that ball around. He's in and out. He's up and down with it. He's hitting those corners. Throw to first. The stretch there by Cepeda, and that's all for the Red Sox in the 6th inning. They had no runs, 1 hit. There were no errors, 1 man left. In the middle of the 6th inning, the score. The Cardinals 6 and the Red Sox nothing. Stan Musial, you can just barely, there he is leading forward in the light raincoat, who will be a Cinch Hall of Famer, the general manager here.
The blonde right to his right's his daughter, by the way, Curt.
Ball 1, pretty good year for the first season as the general manager, huh?
So far, it's perfect.
The 1-0 delivery. Ground ball to Jones at third, right in back of the bag. His throw across, and there's 1 down. Maxwell previously had singled and grounded out. Now that's quite a story. Musial and Shaney's roommates for 11 years, and now teamed up again as general manager and manager. Here's the hand for Bob Gibson, well deserved. He's been an overpowering pitcher in this series, just as he was in the 1964 series. Gibson is fly to left, fly to center. Ball 1, if this series would go to 7 games, Gibson would have his 3 days rest and be ready to go. Check swing, foul ball. And give Dick Sisler a boot on that one.
Dick was better known as a hitter than a fielder.
Well, his dad could do them both.
He must have been great.
The 1-1 delivery. Ball 2, 2-1. Lou Brock's on deck. Cardinals ahead, 6-0. They're batting in the last of the 6th inning, 1 out, nobody on. Dave Moorhead pitching for the Red Sox. The 2-1 delivery. Outside, 3-1 to him. Moorhead can be erratic. When he has his control, he's tough. The 3-1 pitch. Went after a high fastball. That makes it 3-2. Three-two pitch to him. He walked him. Moorhead had retired 4 in a row. Walks the opposing pitcher. And now the exciting Lou Brock coming up. Beat out an infield hit in the first, scored a run. Flied out in the second. Double to right center in the fourth. Fan touched the ball, robbed him of a triple. Lou Brock, the leading hitter. And right now, along with Gibson, you'd say, and Lonborg, strong candidate for the outstanding player of this series.
Not to overlook Javier and Yastrzemski.
He hits the ground ball to short. Petrocelli for 1. He's hard to double up. Look at him flash across that bag to beat out. Forsythe at second. Petrocelli to Adair. Brock, one of the hardest men in baseball to double up.
Kurt, you'll see him run early with 2 out and flood the batter. He'll be trying to steal second.
Six years in the National League, they've doubled him up on ground balls only 27 times in 6 years. Curt Flood, a single, flied out, grounded out. Brock on first, the crowd yelling, go. There he goes. Curveball high, the throw. He's in there. That's the third stolen base of the series for Lou Brock.
Watch the jump he gets on the replay.
He goes into that bag with that straight ahead slide. Oh, he's on second. And right from the first time he came up in Boston in the first inning of the World Series, he's implied intense pressure on the Red Sox. Many picked him, along with my sidekick up there, Harry Caray, before the series started, as the potential star of the series. Now the crowd yelling, go, go again, to strike to Curt Flood. The single flied out and grounded out. Flood batting 200 in the series. They figured that Brock would be hitting against a lot of right-handers, and he hits right-handers well. The 1-1 pitch. Ground ball to Petrocelli. His throw is in time, and the Cardinals are all out of the last of the 6th inning. They had no runs, no hits, there were no errors, and 1 man left. At the end of 6, the score, the Cardinals 6 and the Red Sox nothing. Joe Cronin, the president of the American League, a former shortstop manager, general manager of the Boston Red Sox, and a Hall of Famer, along with his wife Mildred. George Scott hits a bounding ball to shortstop. Maxville throws him out. There's 1 down in the 7th. Not a Red Sox player has reached second base yet. That's how effective Bob Gibson has been. And Tom Yawkey in the middle, just touching his nose there. 33 years, the owner of the Red Sox, who just went through his most thrilling year in baseball when a team that no one expected to win, 100-to-1 shot at the beginning of the season, dramatically won the pennant. A young team with perhaps its best years still ahead, as these players will mature in another 2 or 3 years and have more seasoning, much like the Cardinal team has right now. There's a ball. Here's Smith, 22 years old. Petrocelli is 22 or 23. Canigliero's 22. Jones is 23. It's the youngest team in the American League. Ball 2 to Reggie Smith, 2-0. Smith's grounded to second, grounded to first. And Tom Yawkey, someone is trying to figure how much money he spent in trying to build a winner there, and you stop, I think, around $5 or $10 million he spent on player development. And he went through some lean years the last 5 years as his clubs were down in the bottom of the 2nd division. Discouraging years, but he never gave up. A 3-0 delivery. Ball 4, Reggie Smith's on. That's the first walk given up by Bob Gibson in the game. And here is Jerry Adair, who has struck out and grounded out. Gibson walked only 1 in the first game of the series. Adair batting 143. Now Javier wants to talk to Gibson about something. To join us late, the Cardinals pounced on San Diego for 4 runs and 6 hits in the first inning. They sent 9 men to the plate. They got 2 more in the 3rd, and that's been it. The Cardinals are ahead, 6-0. Ball 1 to Jerry Adair. Rico Petrocelli's on deck. At first base, Cepeda's not holding against Reggie Smith. A 1-0 pitch. A little pop. Off to the right, McCarver going for it. And it's 2 down. Gibson jammed Adair, and he hit that one right off his fist. 2 down. Reggie Smith still at first, and Rico Petrocelli up. Has struck out and grounded out. Petrocelli has had only 1 hit and 10 times up in the series. He had a big thrill this year, became the father of twin boys. Fouls it out of play, a strike. The lights have been on since the opening of the game. This dark, gloomy day here in St. Louis. Norm Seaburn has come out on deck. If he gets a shot, he'll bat for Dave Moorhead. Curve fooled him. No balls, 2 strikes to Petrocelli. Norm Seaburn. The 2-strike delivery. Check swing foul out of play. 0-2. I remember the day they signed Petrocelli to a bonus contract. Fenway Park. Tom Yaka came out of his office and said, "We just signed little Perry Como." He was only 18 at the time. And there's a pop that Gibson scrambled for as Petrocelli was checking his swing again. You notice how that Gibson moves? He's just like a cat on the mound. That's all for the Red Sox in the 7th. No runs, no hits, there were no errors, 1 man left. So in the middle of the 7th inning, the score is the Cardinals 6 and the Red Sox nothing. The Oilers have a bye. Remember AFL football every Sunday on NBC. Roger Maris hits a high fly to Carl Yastrzemski, backpedaling for it, 1 away. Maris had doubled, grounded out twice, and now flied out is 1 out of 4. Orlando Cepeda, fly to right, double to left, grounded out. Cepeda batting 143 in the series. He's had a tough time of it in all-star competition. He's had only 1 hit in the all-star games he's played in. Tim McCarver on deck. Dave Moorhead pitching for the Red Sox. All 1 to Cepeda. The Cardinals have 6 runs, 9 hits. The Red Sox, no runs, 3 hits. No errors in this game. There's a high changeup. And he wanted that one. The book is don't throw him changeups, and Moorhead got away with it. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball that time. 1-2. Fella really charges into the ball, doesn't he? Walks right into it. He's hard to pitch to. He likes the ball out over the plate. He'll adjust. Curve, missing 2-2. Very aggressive hitter. Notice how he cocks that bat. He's ready. Watch him now. Perfect hitting position. Fly ball hit out into left center. Reggie Smith gathers it in for out number 2. The Cardinals are leading 6-0. They have 2 down, nobody on in the 7th. And the catcher, Tim McCarver, up. A single. Knocked in a run, had a sacrifice fly to center in the 3rd to drive in a run, and struck out in the 5th. Carver batting 167 in the series. That's a strike. Just 25 years old. Already regarded as the best all-around catcher in the game. For receiving, for throwing, for hitting, for running. He does it all for the Cardinals. Outside of ball, 1-1. Dave Moorhead, the 4th pitcher in the game for the Red Sox. Santiago started, Gary Bell, Stevenson, and now Moorhead. I'll tell you, Coat feels comfortable here today. All 2, 2-1.
Perfect baseball day, Curt.
Always. 3-1. You ever notice, Harry, on chilly days, especially early in the season, and even in the cooler days in September, now sometimes you see the best baseball games played, the snappy games, pitchers are fresh and ready. There's a pop-up in the shallow left center. Petrocelli going out for it. And that's it. The Cardinals have retired 1-2-3 in the last of the seventh. At the end of the seventh inning here in St. Louis, the score, the Cardinals 6 and the Red Sox nothing. Identification in the World Series. They just announced a trade out on the message board. Of course, during World Series time, all the baseball executives are here, and sometimes the biggest trades are made during a World Series. We'll tell you about it. There it is. Norm Seaburn, pinch hitting for Dave Moorhead. Takes ball one. And an 19-year-old left-hander warming up. That trade, Atlanta Braves, trade LeMaster and shortstop Menke to Houston for shortstop Sonny Jackson and first baseman Chuck Harris. What do you think of that deal, Harry?
Surprised that they would trade a pitcher of LeMaster's potentiality, but I guess there's a reason for it.
Seaburn takes the strike. 2-1. Oh. Casey Stengel, the old professor.
Is that Larry McPhail next to him?
Looked like it. There's a fly ball hit in the deep center, but Curt Flood's playing him deep, waiting. One away. You're watching one of the great defensive center fielders in baseball in Curt Flood. A catcher, Mike Ryan. Flood 4 times has won a Golden Glove Award as a top defensive outfielder in the National League. Ryan struck out his first time. Not a Red Sox has reached second base yet in this game. Foul ball back. In 2 games now against Gibson, only 1 Red Sox has reached third. That was a home run by Santiago. Gibson has struck out 5. He's walked 1. He's just sort of breezing out there right now. There's his breaking pitch for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes. There's another fly ball. Flood coming on for this one, and he's got her. 2 down.
What a jump he gets on the ball. He seemed to be running before the ball was hit, Curt.
Well, that's a great asset for an outfielder. The Red Sox used to have a center fielder who got a tremendous jump on the ball, Jim Pearsall, who made some of the most glittering catches in the American League that they still talk about. 2 down, nobody on. Jose Tarnable up. Twice has grounded out, and he's had an infield hit. Ball 1.
I thought you were going to say Dominic DiMaggio, because he could go get him, too.
Dom was great. He was smooth, marvelous thrower, better hitter than Pearsall. Ball 2.
We had a fellow here, too, named Terry Moore that was some shakes of a center fielder, Curt.
The 2-0 delivery. Strike. Well, down the middle, they say, when you can get a center fielder like DiMaggio, Dom or Joe or Terry Moore, Flood, you can swing that bat, you've got something. Foul back, 2-2. DiMaggio is a lot like Lou Brock, Harry, in that leadoff spot. He would knock in 70, 80 runs a year and hit home runs for you, and was an outstanding base runner. The 2-2 pitch. 3-2.
Yeah, you got to have a great center fielder, I guess. Look at what Willie Mays has done for the Giants down through the years.
For the 8th inning, the Red Sox have 2 down, nobody on. The 3-2 pitch to Tarnable, and he slams it back to the box in the center field for a base hit. Oh, a 2-out single by Tarnable. He has 2 of the 4 hits for the Red Sox. Dalton Jones has been shut out so far. Bounced to the pitcher, flied out to left twice. He's hit safely in every game except this one. Jones batting .375. St. Louis 6, the Red Sox nothing. A ball. Gibson's been in command. There hasn't been a lot of tension or excitement in this game with a big lead the Cardinals built up early. Cepeda playing off the bag against Tarnable. 2-0.
This fella gets on, and Yastrzemski coming up next. Things could become a little more exciting, Curt.
Right. 2 balls, no strikes to Jones. That's in there. 2-1. You notice Gibson works very quickly. Outside, 3-1 to him. He's been behind only 3 or 4 batters in the entire game. He's had them hitting his pitch. Now the 3-1 delivery. There's a drive right at Roger Maris, who fell and still grabbed the ball. Maris started to go down, recovered, and caught that sinking line drive. Roger Maris coming on. Nearly disaster for him on that play. So at the end of 7.5 innings, the score, the Cardinals 6 and the Red Sox nothing. Is the boy that just turned 19 years of age, Ken Brett, from El Segundo, California, who the Red Sox believe will be a starter for them next year. He's pitched only 2 innings in the major leagues. That was 2 innings of relief against Cleveland in the last week of the season. He won 4, lost 4 at Winston-Salem this year. Then he went to Pittsfield in the Eastern League, won 10 and lost 8, and had an earned run average of 1.80. The Red Sox, since the retirement of Mel Parnell, have been looking for a left-handed pitcher, have not been able to get one. This may be the boy. They think that he's going to be their next pitching star. He'll face Mike Shannon and Javier and Maxville. So this must be quite a thrill, Harry, for this 19-year-old kid to be here in the World Series.
I should imagine it is. We'd be remiss if we didn't mention Dave Moorhead's excellent pitching. No hits, no runs in the 3 innings he worked. He fanned 2, walked 1.
Brett is outside with the first pitch for a ball. Brett was signed by the Red Sox in the new draft system they have a year ago. The Red Sox had one of the early choices of the players available, and they picked this boy, desperately needing a left-hander. He was their first choice. Ball 2 to Mike Shannon, who's fouled to short, walked, and grounded out. Jim Lonborg against Steve Carlton tomorrow. 2 balls and no strikes. Foul back. 2-1. We watched him in those 2 innings against the Indians, and they couldn't get around on him. They hit everything to the opposite field against him. So we'll see how Shannon, a right-hander, does. He's quicker than he looks from the stands. His ball's alive. Sal Maglie, the pitching coach, has high hopes for him. Ball 3, and Maglie doesn't kid around when he gives you an appraisal. If he doesn't think someone can make it, he'll tell you flatly. 3 balls, 1 strike. Foul out of play. 3-2 count.
It's raining, Curt. Starting to rain rather hard, and the fans begin to scurry for cover.
Suddenly opened up. They had a light sprinkle earlier in the game that lasted only 3 or 4 minutes. There's a pop to the left side. Foul ground. Ryan going for it. 1 down. Javier has singled, double, and struck out. We hope you're enjoying the World Series. 8 cameras are covering the action for you. Slow motion, stop action, and instant replay. The World Series is being seen in Canada, Mexico, South America. Also being heard across America on the NBC radio network, through the facilities of the Armed Forces Radio, from Bangkok to Berlin, and also to our troops in Vietnam. 50 countries in all. 1 strike. Over on radio, Ken Coleman, broadcaster of the Red Sox, and Pee Wee Reese of NBC handling the game. 0-2. Tony Kubek is with us for post-game interviews, if we have one. Jim Simpson, Sandy Koufax on the pregame show. The 2-strike delivery. Curve for strike 3. Well, Harry, you can see why they like this boy.
Oh, I should say so. For a kid 19 years old in his first World Series, he really shows you some cool out there. A lot of poise with real good stuff.
2 down. Dal Maxville up. Single, grounded out twice. Ball 1. The Red Sox, trailing 6-0 in the 9th inning, will have Yastrzemski, Scott, and Smith up against Bob Gibson. Now to suddenly stop raining. Here's the 1-0 delivery. Foul into the seats. 1 ball, 1 strike to Del Maxville. Two away, bases empty. Curve is ball 2. 2-1. The breeze has sprung up now and is blowing from third to first. Remember this name, Brett, B-R-E-T-T. You're going to hear a lot from him in the future. He doesn't come up with a bad arm. Ball 3, 3-1.
He's got a fluid, loose way, a very effortless pitching motion, Curt.
3 balls, 1 strike. He walked him. Maxville's on, and Bob Gibson, as he takes off his warm-up jacket, will get a hand when he steps into that batter's box for another overpowering pitching performance in the World Series. Listen to it. And some of the fans look with their feet for him. Both these clubs had tremendous support. The Red Sox drew 70% capacity in their ballpark this season, breaking their all-time attendance record, drawing over 1,700,000 to strike the Gibson. The Cardinals here drew over 2 million for their all-time record. Both cities have always been 2 of the top baseball franchises in the majors, through thick and thin. A 1-strike pitch, a ball, 1-1. They drive for miles and miles to come here to St. Louis from the Ozarks, and in New England they come from Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire. The Red Sox are New England's team. The 1-1 pitch. Ground ball to shortstop. Pet Pacelli makes the play to Adair at second for the force in Maxville, and the Cardinals are out in the 8th. Well, the Red Sox shut them out from the 3rd inning on, but the Cardinals scored early. And at the end of 8, the score is the Cardinals 6 and the Red Sox nothing. Again, the rain is...
Open your passbook savings account now. Join more than 40,000 other First Federal savers earning a 4.5% dividend at the many convenient First Federal locations.
His single bounced out to the infield twice. 1 out of 3. And here's a drive into right center. Maris going for it. Can't get it. It'll be for extra bases. And Yastrzemski becomes the first Red Sox player in the game to reach second base. So he's 2 out of 4. That's Carl's 5th hit in the series. Batter is George Scott, who struck out, singled to left, and grounded out. Scott hitting .286 in the series. That was base hit number 5 for the Red Sox. The Cardinals have had 9. Scott hits a high fly ball to Maris, right almost in his tracks, waiting for it. Yastrzemski's tagging and coming on the 3rd. There's the throw, and he's in there. 6 runs behind, he tagged and went to 3rd. 1 down. That raises some eyebrows over in the press box.
Well, why not? You can make it. He was sure he could, and he ran. You can't play this game being afraid, and Carl Yastrzemski, while it might be considered daring when you're 6 runs behind, nevertheless made it. And certainly can't be criticized for that.
Reggie Smith has grounded out twice and walked. Smith batting .250 in the series. Cardinals 6-0. Foul back. The Cardinals got 4 in the first inning. They had 6 of their 9 hits in the first inning. Cardinals did not get a hit in the last 4 innings, and they got 2 more runs in the 3rd. And behind Gibson, they have the big lead. Ball 1, strike 1 to Reggie Smith. Jerry Adair on deck. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Foul back. 1-2 to Reggie Smith. Smith came up in the second inning and hit one in the third deck foul down the right field line, an inside fastball. They got him. Broke a beautiful curve off. Strikeout number 6 for Bob Gibson. I was about to say that Gibson hasn't given him an inside fastball since. So Gibson with 6 strikeouts and 1 walk has now struck out 16 in 2 games in the World Series. He broke the all-time series strikeout record in '64 when he struck out 31 Yankees. A bounding ball to Javier. Good in the ball game, and the Cardinals win it 6-0. Oh, Gibson too much again. Look at Cepeda. And the Cardinals now have a commanding lead of 3-1. In the 9th inning, no runs for the Red Sox. 1 hit, there were no errors, and 1 man left. Gibson getting his 4th World Series victory against just 1 loss. And the final score, the St. Louis Cardinals, 6 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. The Boston Red Sox, no runs, 5 hits, and no errors.